Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat for Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing in all three series, the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup Series. So today we have, first of all, the Truck Series here at Kansas Speedway, where we had my favorite Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver here in the truck for us tonight, and that is Ray Alfalla. I was very excited to be able to put him in the truck. We've had other drivers like Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr. I think we even had Jimmy Johnson at one point in the truck this season, and now we got Ray Alfalla. We even had Lando Norris in Daytona earlier this season, but either way, Ray had started inside the top 10, so it was actually a pretty good qualifying effort. Usually we qualify just outside the top 10 in the Truck Series and even the Xfinity Series, as we always struggle obviously in qualifying. But Ray got pretty aggressive here on this opening start, going 3 wide down this back straightaway there with the 13 of Johnny Sauter as well as the 5 truck all the way on the bottom as they went down towards turn 3. The outside always prominent here at Kansas Speedway in really any series, the Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series, at least in the video game. Now as we go down this front straightaway, Ray was moving his way forwards through the field, getting up to the back of the 16 of Austin Hill. I keep saying that's Brett Moffitt, and I know it's not Brett Moffitt, it is Austin Hill, but I'm just used to Brett Moffitt being in that truck still now. As he came through a little bit later in this race, Ray had now gotten to the outside of the Canadian of Stuart Friesen there in the 52 as they went down into turns 1 and 2, and Ray just had continued to move his way forward. So he'd climb up into the 3rd position as he would pass the 52 down this back straightaway. So now he would put the pressure on the 18 of Harrison Burton as they went down into turns 1 and turns 2, and he would slide up right in front of Harrison. Harrison would actually give him the bumper. He's actually one of our Truck Series rivals. So as we went down on the next lap, down into turns 1, Harrison Burton would give Alfalla the bumper down into turns 1, putting Ray up nearly into the outside wall. So he lost a little bit of ground there, and he came to the now final lap of this race where he was still running right behind the 18 of Harrison Burton, and then Stuart Friesen was now looking to the inside. Ray got into the wall just a little bit there as it came through out of turns 2, heading down this back straightaway for the final time, and it is Brett Moffitt in the 24 truck leading the way as they go down into turns 3 for the final time here in Kansas Speedway. But Ray's going to stay up on that top lane through turns 3 and 4 for the final time here in Kansas. Now, it's going to be the 18 in second place, but coming to the line between the 52 and Alfalla, it's going to be Ray Alfalla coming through to finish in the 3rd position. Would have been awesome to see him get to victory lane here today, and hopefully we see him get to victory lane soon in the actual Coca-Cola series for iRacing. Now, as we would move on into the Xfinity Series race, where we actually had myself in the car for once here in the Xfinity Series for our first Xfinity race of the season. Now, as you see, Ross Chastain is one of our rivals, Noah Gragson on pole, and Jeffrey Earnhardt failed pre-race inspection. Pocono, certainly one of my least favorite tracks on the schedule. We usually actually run pretty good at Pocono, at least in the Cup Series. The Xfinity Series never has really gone well for us here, but like I said, definitely looking forward to the Cup race, but like I said, I don't really care for this track in general. But either way, we got to the bottom lane right away, and I knew right off the bat we were definitely going to struggle. I actually slid down onto the apron, made a little bit of contact there with the car on my outside as we went down this back stretch for the first and opening lap here. Now, as Noah Gragson would lead the way down towards the tunnel turn over second place of the 2 of Tyler Reddick for RCR. Now, as we go through the tunnel turn, actually cutting down all the way to the grass there under that yellow line now, as we would be clear of the 21 as we went down towards turns 3 on this opening lap, up the inside there of, I believe that is the 15 car now, as we try to be able to get the position over him. The 21 of, I believe that's Anthony Alfredo, tries to make a move on us. That might be Kaz Gralla, I don't even remember, but either way, we actually would get away from that group of cars behind us, but then the group of cars in front of us would get away. So I was just on an island of my own for the rest of this race. So we cut straight through to the final lap. We hadn't really made up a whole lot of ground, but the 4 of Ross Chastain had closed up right on us on this final lap here through the tunnel turn. Now, our rival, like I said, in the Xfinity Series, keep that in mind as we go down towards turns 3 for the final time here in the tricky triangle at Pocono. Now, it's going to be Chastain closing up on our back bumper. He's going to give us the bumper on the exit of turn 3, pushes us up towards the wall. We do keep it off the wall, but I may or may not have just completely hooked the 4 of Chastain. So we come across the line in front of him. Probably shouldn't have done that. We finished P15, as I don't like taking people out on purpose in anything, And, well, obviously you saw right there, I just completely wiped the guy right out. But I think it was Noah Gragson who did get the victory. But now it's time for the Cup Series race here for myself in the number 42 Chevrolet, once again for Chip Ganassi Racing. We go down into turns 1 here on our qualifying lap. If you ask me, this is actually a 6-turn racetrack. But obviously they say it's 3 turns now as we go down this first little back straightaway of what I consider 2 back straightaways there is at Pocono Raceway now, as obviously I didn't expect a great qualifying effort. I'm hoping really just inside the top 16 or so. We get through the tunnel turn pretty decently. I did have to get out of the throttle on the exit of the corner, so that's going to hurt us a little bit here as we go down towards turns 3 here in our qualifying attempt. The goal was a 53.636, and as we come through turns 3 for the final time, I don't think we're going to quite reach that goal as we go down this front straightaway for the qualifying attempt at the line. It's not going to be our goal, 53.8, only a little bit off, and we actually go P11, so very solid qualifying effort. Definitely cannot complain with an effort like that, starting just outside of the top 10 as we get ready to go green.
We're live from Pocono Raceway for the Pocono 400. The tricky triangle is different than any other track these drivers will encounter all year. So nailing the setup of the car is crucial. Which of these teams will unravel the mystery that is Pocono? Let's go find out.
All right, thank you, Rick Allen. We're ready to go green here for the Pocono 400 at Pocono Raceway. Daniel Suarez still wants payback on us, so we got to watch out for our Cup Series rival here today as Ryan Blaney starts on the pole position here as we get ready to go green. So we got to watch out for Blaney. He's on the pole, and you see he has that little fire symbol, so we know he's also going to be very fast here. So we're ready to go green from the 11th starting position now as we are underway here at Pocono Raceway behind the 21 of Paul Menard. There you see Clint Boyer on the outside of him, starting in that 10th position. Behind us, we got Eric Jones on our outside. It looks like we got the 9 of Chase Elliott as we go down towards turns 1. Ryan Blaney leads this pack side by side with Kyle Busch down into this first and opening corner, and we're going to get aggressive early on there as I hit the brakes and the car just kind of slid down, and all of a sudden I was on the apron and we actually passed the 21 of Paul Menard in the process now, right on that left rear now of the 31 of Tyler Reddick as we go down towards the tunnel turn. Could have forced the 3 wide on the 6 of Ryan Newman, but I opted not to do that now as we go down through this tunnel turn using that apron to my advantage. We're going to exit it side by side with the 31 of Reddick, and now we're going to pass him and get to the inside of Ryan Newman as we go down into turns 3, and just like that we were up to P7 here in this first and opening lap. So we've gained 4 positions so far as Ryan Blaney's already starting to drive away with the lead here in Pocono. Brad Keselowski just in front of myself, and we wouldn't make up any ground until we came through now on lap 5 of 11 in this first stage. Kyle Busch just in front of us there in front of Keselowski, and we're going to be side by side with Kevin Harvick down this front stretch here as we're going to hit lap 6 of 11 in this first stage as we try to clear the 4 of Harvick down into turns 1 and move up into the 6th position now as Keselowski, he's trying to put the pressure on Kyle Busch, and sure enough, he would pass Kyle Busch as we came down this backstretch towards the tunnel turn as I get into the back of the 18, just giving him a nice shove down the straightaway as we go down into this tunnel turn here, running, like I said, in that 6th position. But we're going to get a really good exit of the tunnel turn, get to the inside of the 18. The tunnel turn really is a good corner for us. I think we can make some big moves on the exit of that specific turn now as we go down into turns 3, now inside the top 5. So we came through on lap 7, we put the pressure on Keselowski, a great exit once again from the tunnel turn, and now we're going to move up into the 4th position after passing the Penske driver in the 2012 Cup Series champion as we came through turns 3, and then sure enough on lap 9 of 11 in the stage we had closed in on Joey Logano on the same turn that we passed Kyle Busch in, and Keselowski, we were able to now pass Logano and take over P3, coming to 2 to go on the stage. We came through now to the final lap of the first stage, and we had continued to at least drive away a little bit from Joey Logano behind me, who is now under pressure from his Penske teammate of Brad Keselowski. Right now, all 3 Penske cars inside the top 5, led by, surprisingly, Ryan Blaney, which we don't say very often here in really real life or in the career mode either. As we go down this first back straightaway here for the final time in stage 1. Denny Hamlin in P2. We know Hamlin has already had an incredible start to this season. He's already continuing that dominance that he had last season, and this season he would love to do that again, except win the championship this time out, not blow it in the final corner on the final lap at Homestead, Miami. Now as we go down into turns 3 for the final time, Logano looks like he's going to be able to hold off his Penske teammate of Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch in the distance there, but Ryan Blaney wins stage 1, Hamlin second. We come through to finish in P3 here in the stage, so a very solid stage effort for our team here. As like I said, it's all 3 Penske drivers inside the top 5, and then a JGR car and a CGR car in the mix, as well as Tyler Reddick rounds out the top 10. We would come to the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires, no adjustments necessary, as we would get ready to go green from P3. Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin will lead the way to the green flag for the start of Stage 2 as we are underway. Myself and Joey Logano make up this second row. We have, two championships combined between myself and Logano in the career mode, both going to Logano, unfortunately. Now, as we go down towards turns 1, giving the 12 of Blaney a push down into the corner to possibly get him clear of Denny Hamlin. This time we actually don't go onto the apron, but I just do not get a very good run through the center of the corner, and that's going to allow Hamlin to get clear as we go down this first backstretch. It's going to be the 2 and the 22, though, side by side just behind us here as we go down towards the tunnel turn on this first and opening lap of the second stage. Only 10 laps here in Stage 2 now as we get through the tunnel turn so well, closing in on the back of Hamlin. Do we make the move? And sure enough, we do. We pounce to the inside of the JGR driver as we go down into turns 3, trying to take over that second position here. Now as Ryan Blaney is loving what he sees behind him. Myself and Hamlin battling side by side, but Hamlin uses the momentum on the higher lane, and he is able to hold me off on this first and opening lap of the stage. And now Keselowski was just behind me. We went down into turns 1, and I got a little bit tight through the center of the corner, and that would allow Keselowski to get to my inside as we went down this first back straightaway once again, trying to at least use that draft from Hamlin to stay clear going down into the tunnel turn, but it's not going to happen. But we're going to actually fight with Keselowski side by side into the tunnel turn, but he's going to get the best of the battle as that would fade in just behind him, as it was now Eric Almirola who had climbed up into P5, and then Keselowski would continue to move his way forwards. He puts pressure on Hamlin down into the tunnel turn now on lap 5 of the stage, and he would take over P2. Ryan Blaney once again had driven away as we're going to look now to the inside of the 11 as well as the 2 of Keselowski. We're going to try and make 2 passes here into turns 3, and sure enough, we're going to clip the grass a little bit, slide up just in front of Keselowski, and now we're going to get tight on the exit of the corner. So we just made 2 passes, but now we're going to completely give up all that ground as Keselowski and Hamlin would both pass us back on the front straightaway with 5 laps to go here in the second stage. They would continue to battle it out with each other as well as we came through to lap 8 of 10 in the second stage. Hamlin would move back up into P2 now as we came through out of the tunnel turn, and I decided to actually be a little bit nice here to Keselowski and briefly let him have the position. Now we came through to the final lap of the second stage. Keselowski back out in front of Hamlin as now we get to the inside of the 11 cars. We exit turns 1 and side by side down the back straightaway with the most dominant driver this season so far in the career mode. We would love to have the opportunity to be as dominant as Denny Hamlin maybe in these last 3 quarters or so of the season as we go down through the tunnel turn for the final time here in Stage 2. Sideways there as we're going to hang on to it still side by side with the JGR driver in the FedEx Toyota number 11 Camry as we go down into turns 3 for the final time in the stage, and we're going to get past Hamlin and sneak to the inside of Keselowski. But out of turns 3, it's Ryan Blaney who wins Stage 2. Keselowski clears me. He's going to come across the line to get second. We're going to come through once again to finish P3 here in Stage 2. Hamlin just barely right behind me in P4. Almirola rounds out the top 5, so a very solid effort for him. And rounding out the top 10 would be the 4 of Kevin Harvick. So we would pit for 2 cans of fuel again, 4 tires, and our pit crew would get us the lead on the pit stop and put us in P1 for the start of the third and final stage, which is now underway with 13 laps to go. So only 3 extra laps. Can we hold on to the lead and get our second win of the season? Clear of the field as we go down into turns 1. Blaney looked like he was trying to get down to that bottom lane, but then he actually moves back up the track as I clip the apron there into turns 1, and that's going to allow both the 12 and the 2 to pounce on the opportunity. Blaney backs out, but Keselowski does it. He's going to look to my left-hand side down this first back straightaway here as we go down towards the tunnel turn. Both of us want to be out in front there as I try to side draft, but not enough now as we go down towards that tunnel turn. But we know how quick the 12 car is of Ryan Blaney, so we want to be out in front. So on the exit of the tunnel turn, we have a huge run. We look to the inside of the 2 of Keselowski now as we go down into turns 3, trying my best to clear the Penske driver, and we do exactly that. But once again, we slide up a little bit, but we might be able to hang on to the position. We do indeed, but Blaney goes to the inside of his Penske teammate, and look at him just completely below the doors off both myself and Keselowski. I try to side draft him, and I still have nothing for Ryan Blaney as we go down towards turns 1. He completely destroyed us. Now as we go down towards the corner, Keselowski right on my back bumper now as we slide into the corner, going pretty deep, and I completely mess it up and allow now the 2 of Keselowski to take second place. place back away now as we came through now on lap 30, 11 laps to go as we go down into turns 1. Hamlin just behind myself. Blaney now driving away with the lead, but the caution comes out with 11 laps to go. Some drivers pitting, and I decide we're not going to pit because once this cycles out, we're going to have enough fuel to make it to the end of this race. So we would stay out and get ready to go green from P3. Hopefully we can get a really good restart here. Denny Hamlin on my outside as the green flag is back out once again here at the Tricky Triangle. Just 8 laps to go here in Pocono. Now we will 100% have enough fuel to get to the end of this race. Joey Logano just behind me, but you see 10 laps of fuel on the left top corner of your screen for a moment there. So we have 2 extra laps of fuel, so we even really have enough for overtime as well if necessary, but I doubt we will go to overtime. There's a little bit of contact made with the 2 of Brad Keselowski, and obviously once again side-by-side racing like this for second place, just going to allow Ryan Blaney to run away. So I just wanted to get past this, the 2 as quickly as possible as we go down into the tunnel turn on that apron, slipping and sliding, and Keselowski unfortunately is able to stay on my outside, maintain his position as we go down towards turns 3. Logano right on the left rear of Hamlin as we go down into the corner. Keselowski nearly gets clear. We fight back on that inside, and then once again he does clear me as we exit turn 3. But now we got Hamlin who is going to use the momentum as well down the front straightaway, and we're going to drop now down to the 4th position unfortunately here with 7 laps to go. So I would actually get linked up with Hamlin and push him past the 2 of Keselowski now on lap 34 down towards turns 3, and now Hamlin moves into P2, I move into P3, and I decided right here to make a different change of things on how I race the rest of this race. I decided if we want to run down Ryan Blaney and have a chance to win, we're going to have to work together with someone, and that someone being the 11 of Denny Hamlin, who has, like I said, dominated this season. I don't care how many races he's won. I still want to work with him to be able to have a chance at winning this race. So I decided to just get linked up with him. We would close the gap in on Hamlin. Sure enough, I close up on him, and we would start just pushing him, get on his back bumper every straightaway, and just see what we could do. And we were closing in quickly on the 12 of Ryan Blaney as we were approaching just 3 laps to go here in Pocono. On the exit of the tunnel turn, could have went for a pass right there, but no, I decided we're going to stay linked up with the back bumper of the 11 of Hamlin. We continue to close the gap now down to 0.6 of a second, coming to just 2 laps to go here in Pocono as we go down into turns 3. And if we keep doing this by the white flag, we should be all over the back of Ryan Blaney, myself and Hamlin included in that battle now. As we go down this front straightaway, we would come through here now down towards turns 1, just like I said, continuing to push the 11 as we go into the corner. About not even half a second anymore between ourselves and the leader of Ryan Blaney, who has dominated this race, and now his win is in jeopardy here as we are approaching just a lap and a half to go. We came through now down into the tunnel turn, even closer to the 12 of Blaney now. As we exit the tunnel turn, the pressure is going to be on that 12 as we give the 11 a big push down towards turn 3. He's going to pounce on the opportunity. Hamlin's going to take Blaney side by side down into turns 3 here, approaching the final lap, and we're going to make a bit of a mistake there as thankfully we hang on to the car now as we come through out of turn 3, but Hamlin is clear for the lead as we come through to start the final lap here at Pocono Raceway. Blaney has dominated and he loses the lead at the white flag now as we go down towards turns 1. Hamlin looking to steal the victory with help, of course, from myself as we get sideways down into the corner now, and we're trying to hang on. We actually get onto the apron, and we're going to go sliding and spinning on the exit of turns 1 now, and we're going to go slamming into the outside wall, and thankfully we keep it great, and never mind, the caution comes out here on the final lap in Pocono. 100% stupidity on myself as I went down into turns 1. I got loose and I just kind of chased the car down the track onto the apron, spun out. We finish now P4. Ryan Blaney loses the race. Denny Hamlin wins here in Pocono. Very unfortunate, and that was 100% on me. We did all of that just for me to completely screw it up in one turn. So I do apologize to you guys for that. That was not what I had intended to do, and it was just a silly mistake on my part. And in the next one, we do go, though, to Michigan, where I think we'll have a lot of speed. And as always, though, if you guys did enjoy, you know what to do. Sorry about what happened there to Blaney, but Hamlin gets win number 5 now on the season. Everyone else at 1. So I'll see you guys, though, in the next one at Michigan. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and have yourselves a great day, everybody.